technical hitch, but welcome to the Uhuru Kenyatta Institute. And today we would just like to give a response to the issues that were addressed and raised by the government spokesperson, Mr. Isaac Mwaura, on the 31st of May 2024, when he was addressing a press briefing, and it concerns the benefits of the retired president. Now, you've been given a press kit. A press kit will be going around right now. And in the press kit, there are documents that I will be speaking to as I address the issue. I will first try to respond to the issues that were raised by the government spokesperson, and then I will present the official position of the office. And I hope that's okay. So, in his statement, Mr. Mwaura indicated that the former President Uhuru Kenyatta received a lump sum payment of 48 million shillings as gratuity. I would like to confirm that that is correct, that he did receive the lump sum, but I also want to emphasize that gratuity is an entitlement accorded to every public officer on the expiry of service or once their contract is done. And just to give but an example of a few is the former Chief Justices, all former members of Cabinet, commanders of defense forces, that is CDFs, including the then Deputy President. He also received a gratuity, and including myself as a former spokesperson of State House. It is true that the former President is receiving his personal monthly allowances that are paid by the pension fund that is domiciled at Treasury, and he also has the medical cover. Now, on the issue of the retired president enjoying a fully furnished and maintained office space, as alluded to in the statement, this took us by surprise. Because it is public knowledge that State House has been very clear on the position of the office in Nyari as the only office that the president should use based on the fact that the office has been bought by government. A position that was clearly articulated by the State House spokesperson, Hussein Mohammed, during a question and answer session when he was doing the press briefing of President Ruto's visit to the United States of America. So the statement that the former president enjoys a fully furnished and maintained office of his choice provided by government is incorrect. To date, the office matter has never been addressed and has never been resolved. But I'd, however, want to note, and I'd like you to note that the office in Nyari was selected by the former president, the late former President Mwai Kibaki, suitable for himself. Just a note that I'd like you to take. Then I would like to confirm also that the office confirms that the former president was indeed allocated vehicles for his personal use, and that is 2 Toyota Land Cruisers, like stated in the statement, 1 Mercedes-Benz, and 1 Range Rover that is in use by the former First Lady, Mama Margaret Kenyatta. The 4 Toyota Prados that have been mentioned are in use as follows. 3 are used by the security detail that was given to the president, the former president, and 1 Toyota Prado that is being used by the office, as well as 1 Subaru Forester. Now, what the government spokesperson did not clarify is that the vehicles allocated to the former president for personal use were not new. They were in fact the cars that were part of his motorcade when he left Kasarani during the inauguration ceremony. And this was agreed upon by State House, that the former president uses these vehicles on transitional basis as they begin the process of procuring new vehicles as stipulated in the Presidential Benefits Act. That is 2 new vehicles of the retired president's choice, replaceable every 3 years, and each car having an engine capacity not exceeding 3,000 cc's. 2 four-wheel motor drive vehicles of the retired president's choice, also replaceable every 3 years, each vehicle having an engine capacity of 3,000 to 4,000 cc's. Just a point of note as well, the late President Daniel Arap Moi and the late President Mwai Kibaki were allocated and maintained more than double the number of vehicles that have been allocated to the 3rd retired president to ensure optimum running of his office. There were fuel cards that were issued, and the fuel cards were given, as well as the maintenance of the vehicles, but that has not been done because the cards were blocked in the month of March 2023 to date, that is. I'll take that again. The fuel cards were given, However, they were cancelled and blocked by State House since March 2023 to date. There have been reports on some local dailies that stating that State House has undertaken repairs and maintenance of vehicles under the former president's office. That is incorrect. In fact, I want to say that I did receive calls from some journalists to verify incomplete forms provided by a State House official as evidence of services rendered towards repairs and maintenance. And despite my clarification, they still went ahead to quote these as valid documents of services rendered. And those copies of those incomplete forms you have in your press pack, you'll be able to peruse that. These forms, you'll see that they have the word approved at the corner, which is what was being used by State House to say that they have approved the services. That signature, I would like to clarify, ladies and gentlemen, belongs to the former State House Comptroller, that is Mr. Kinothi Ambogwa, who is currently the AIE holder of the office of the third retired president. And those forms, or those requisitions, were not honored by the accounting officer, who is our accounting officer, that is the State House Comptroller. A complete requisition forms, just for your note, contains signatures and approval notes from heads of department. It is therefore the position of the office of the third retired president that the government of the day has not undertaken nor facilitated any repairs, maintenance of any vehicles under this office, neither have they fueled any cars under this office. As I finalize on the issue raised in the matter by the government spokesperson, the office still awaits the confirmation and communication on why they blatantly refuse to renew contracts of two professional staff members, the administrator, Mr. George Karaoke, and Mrs. Kanze Dena Mararo, who is the director communication. There is also the issue of unceremonious withdrawal and intimidation of staff via phone calls at midnight. We have provided a list of the complete staff serving in the office of the retired third president, and would also like to clarify that the list that Mr. Mwaura presented in his statement had the wrong tally. Those members of staff that were there were 32 and not 33, when the Act provides for 34 members of staff. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, allow me now to present the official position of the office of the third retired president of the Republic of Kenya. On the issue of the office, before retirement and during his retirement, the former President Kenyatta has been sought to undertake various international roles, especially within the region, in his capacity as a former head of state. And among them was his appointment as a peace facilitator by the East African Community Heads of State during the 22nd Ordinary Meeting of East Africa Heads of State Summit that was held on the 22nd of July 2022 in Tanzania, Arusha. These engagements necessitated that the need to identify and establish a suitable office for the former president to enable him carry out these roles and provide an operational base for various cadre of staff. Now, with no response from State House and a lack of commitment to finalize on the issue of the office space, His Excellency, the former president, identified a suitable office space, as you can see where we are, and went ahead to fully furnish and equip it from his pocket. A formal letter was written to State House requesting valuation of the office that was identified by the former President Kenyatta as suitable for him to carry out his duties. However, the office did not receive a response on the issue, and instead, the communication that the office received was via text message, by the then in charge, Mr. John Makumi.